So remember, just that perception is the way your senses become aware of things. So even though the word perception doesn't name something you can touch, it's still a noun. Okay, it's a thing. Okay, it names the ability our senses give us. Okay, so we're going to kind of come up with some context or some characteristics of perception here. So first one, I want you guys to find the first characteristic under senses. I want you guys to read it with me. So find it with your pointer finger. I like that Jack's ready to go. Find that first characteristic. Find the first characteristic. Appreciate you being ready to go. I want to hear you guys read it out loud to me. Thanks for being ready to go. Read it with me. Ready, go. It is different depending on who experiences it. Good. Appreciate you. I hear your voice up here, Charlie. Thanks, Jordan. Appreciate that, Dylan. Okay, so depending on who experiences it, your perception is going to be different, right? So the way McKaylee sees the board right now is different than the way Charlie sees the board, because their perception, the way the angle they're sitting, is different. Okay, so depending on who experiences it, it might be totally different. So think about, like, if you're a witness to a crime, right? I'm standing on one side of the street, someone else is standing on the other side of the street. We might have different stories depending on who comes in front of us and that type of thing. Okay? So some characteristics of perception would be that it involves senses, such as, what's a sense that perception involves? What's one sense I just mentioned there? What's one sense we talked about, Jack? What's one of your senses that we talked about?
Senses.
What's one of them?
I don't know.
Well, what's something you're doing right now?
Facing.
Okay, so you're facing with your
Eyes.
So you're seeing, right? Okay, so involves senses such as seeing. Okay, so that'd be one example. You could have put something in there like touching or tasting. Okay, so it's different depending on who experiences it, such as seeing. Okay, and that can be affected by what? Okay, what can that be affected by? If I'm seeing something different than the person next to me, how can that be affected? What if, okay, so what if something's happening up here? Like, what if I'm teaching, okay, and somebody's paying attention and somebody's not? Okay, is somebody gonna see something that somebody else might not? Okay, think about, again, it depends on who experiences it. So we'd say something like it can be affected by maybe a distraction. Okay, so maybe we're both looking at the same thing, like we're watching that magic trick, okay, and Pith the magic dragon is doing something with his hands, okay, to distract us. Maybe I'm watching his hands and the other person's watching his eyes, and we see something different, okay? So maybe it can be affected by a distraction. Okay? Or something, think about something that like cuts in front of you. So if I am witnessing like a car accident, okay, but there's somebody walking in front of my car at the same time as the car accident's happening, okay? So some person's walking right in front of my vision, car accident happens right behind them. I might see it different than the passenger in my car was seeing it without the person walking right in front of me. Okay? So really quick, we're just gonna kind of take a break there, and I want to go over the word family for perception. So I want you guys to find these words on the right. Okay, appreciate you guys still being ready to go with me. We're just gonna get through these last couple pages. So we're gonna go through that word family on the right. So all those black words on the right. So the first word is perceptible. What's that word, everybody?
Perceptible.
Okay, we're just going to say it twice and we'll move on to the next one. The word's perceptible. What's that word, everybody?
Perceptible.
Good. The next word's imperceptible. What's that word, everybody?
Imperceptible.
Good. Let's just say it one more time. The word's imperceptible. What's that word, everybody?
Imperceptible.
Good. Okay, the word next one's perceive. What's that word, everybody?
Perceive.
Thank you for saying with me. Let's just say it one more time. The word's perceive. What's that word, everybody?
Perceive.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Next one's perceivable. What's that word?
Perceivable.
Great job. Next word's perceivable. Or sorry, what's that word again? Perceivable. What's that word?
Perceivable.
Sorry, I messed up there. Okay. And then the last one is misperception. What's that word, everybody?
Misperception.
Okay, thank you. So that'd be like if I misinterpret something, that would be a misperception. Okay? So some examples of perception, okay, would be experiencing what? Okay? How would our perception be different? What's something you guys experience every day that's different from everyone else? What do you guys do after second period? What do you guys do after second period usually? Anybody? You guys just do nothing? You just don't even know what you do after second period? You just have class and it's nothing? What do you guys do? Come on. Turn to the person next to you. Tell them, what do you do after second period? Turn to the person next to you. Tell them, what do you do after second period? Oh, that's an obvious answer. That's what I was looking for. What do you guys do? What do you do after second period? Yeah, there we go. All right, I heard everybody say it. So, experience things like going to lunch. Okay? That would be different for all of you, right? Most of you probably have different friends. Okay? Most of you probably eat different things. Most of you probably go to different places at the school. So going to lunch is definitely going to be, that's going to be a different experience. Okay? What about noticing differences between, what's something we can notice the difference between? Okay? What's something we can notice the difference between? What's something you guys notice the differences between? What are these? What's the difference between these markers? The colors, right? So maybe the colors, okay, that would be something, okay, that you would recognize. So colors. Okay, so notice the difference between colors, okay, because think about it. Does anybody know anybody that is colorblind? Has anybody heard about people being colorblind before? Mr. Durfee does?
A little bit, I am.
You are? What exactly does it mean? Fully? Does it you like just can't see certain colors?
I can't see certain shades very well.
Okay, so
There's levels of it.
okay, so there's different levels of being colorblind, and so you can't recognize certain shades of colors. I don't know everything about it, but so there, people with color blindness, their perception of color is going to be way different than everyone else. Okay, and then what's something you would recognize that your perception is going to be? What's something you recognize? One thing that you guys recognize when you look at it. What's one thing you recognize when you look at it? You look at an object and you know what it is. What's one thing you recognize? What do you see when you what's something you recognize when you see it? Like, what about like, Michaela? A label? Okay, for a label for what? To be specific. What kind of product? Just name something. For what? Glue? What kind of glue though? Elmer's. Okay, so recognizing Elmer's glue. So all of us have gone to school and probably used a glue stick at some point and know those Elmer's glue. It's got that orange wrap around it, right? With probably
Elmer's
black
glue.
lettering. Okay, so everybody has
Elmer's
used one of those
glue.
glue sticks at some point in their school career. So Elmer's glue, that'd be something to recognize. Think about other stuff like Coca-Cola, Pepsi, Nike, things like that you would like automatically see, like a dog, a cat, just any object that you would recognize as soon as you see it. Maybe a candy bar, okay? So as long as you have something written down there that you recognize, I appreciate you getting that written down. I need you to get back focused.
Elmer's
Still. Alex, let's go.
I copied it down.
Perfect. Yeah, your home. Yeah, that's a really good example. Okay. Maybe your bed or something, your bedroom, things you're gonna recognize really easily. Okay. Okay. And you're gonna recognize it because you can see, maybe feel it. Okay, because, well, yeah. Maybe I could recognize like the feel or the sound of something. Maybe I could recognize like the band. What's a musical group everybody in here knows? Bruno Mars. I don't know. Maybe you guys don't even know that. Okay. All right. Non-examples. So things that you don't. So that you don't use your perceptions. Okay. So when you're what, you're not using any perception. You're not touching, smelling, seeing, hearing, or feeling. What's one thing you can do? Being what? What did you guys do before you woke up this morning?